Hi everyone, I'm Rachel, the instructor here at Cartersville, and today we have practice from home, or maybe you might even be able to squeeze in a practice in Ackworth, practicing with Harley. But if not, if you're here to stay, then we have a little flow planned. But before we get into that, I want to start with some breath work. It's really important to try to spend a few minutes of time on that every day because it helps with balancing out our nervous system. So we often live in the state of triggering our sympathetic nervous system, which is our fight or flight. And what we want to do is create a balance and be able to um, remind the parasympathetic, the rest and digest, to also activate and turn on a little more often. And it's very calming and it helps just to regulate your emotions and just create a little more calmness. So, we want to find a comfortable seated position. I'm sitting on like a meditation cushion because I like to elevate my hips. And when I let my hips sit higher than my knees, it takes the pressure off of the knees and it's more accessible. So you could grab a yoga block if you have those at home, or you could take a cushion off of your couch or a pillow, just something to lift you up. You can either sit in Padmasana where you've got your foot into your hip crease, or you could sit in Siddhasana where simple cross-legged position, or you can, this is Siddhasana where your heels are in line, or you could just sit in Sukhasana, which is just a crisscross position. So just find whatever feels right for you today. We're going to close our eyes. And what we're going to do is while we're sitting here, I'm going to just do a simple inhale and exhale. So we're going to do about a 5.5 count of an inhale and then 5.5 of an exhale. I'm going to count for you. And then I'll just tell you when to inhale and then I'll tell you when to exhale, and I'll also count. Now, as we're breathing, we want to think about really using the diaphragm, so that when we're using the diaphragm, it means our belly is going to expand because that muscle is pushing and contracting and working, meaning everything gets pushed down, the belly comes out. So it takes a little while to kind of understand it and for the body to understand it and not to fight us. We're so used to kind of bringing everything in that it takes a minute for your body to say, oh, okay, it's fine, we can do this. So you want to think of when you're breathing in, that you're first filling your belly, then the breath moves into your ribs, and then the last little bit moves up into the chest. So we think of almost like a balloon filling, right? So it slowly fills and it expands, and the rib cage comes out. So, and then same thing, when you deflate a balloon, everything starts to come in. Okay. So don't force anything. If it's not coming together that way, don't stress over it. The whole point is to relax and just breathe. So just breathe however you breathe for the count of 5, inhale and exhale. All right. So I'm not going to do a lot of talking other than counting. So if your eyes are not already closed, go ahead and close your eyes. We're going to exhale here. And we're going to inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale. Last one, exhale. Now we'll just let the breathing come back to normal. Okay, we're going to open our eyes. So just doing that about 10 times. Inhale and exhale about 10 times, at least once a day, is really good for, like I said, regulating your nervous system. So it's also good if you feel anxious or if you're going into a meeting, you feel a little bit nervous. It's a really good way to just kind of settle a little bit. So give it a try. All right, so now let's start with the asanas or the postures. So we're going to go ahead and get this cushion or pillow out of the way, and we're going to come into a tabletop position. So our wrists are stacked underneath our shoulders and our knees are about hip distance apart, stacked underneath our hips. We're going to start with just a few cats and cows. So we're going to inhale, drop the belly down towards the floor, and we're going to arch the spine, gaze up. We're going to exhale, draw the navel in, curl the back, pressing it up towards the ceiling. Inhale, fill the belly. Exhale, round the spine, tuck the tailbone, press into the hands, press into the feet. Inhale. We gently pull our hands back towards our knees, look up. Exhale, push strong into the hands, into the knees, rounding the spine. Inhale. And exhale, draw that navel in. Good. Now inhale back to a neutral spine, and we're going to do a few rounds of bear rolls. So we're going to just kind of warm up the hips, warm up the shoulders. So we're going to inhale and come forward, and then exhale, we're going to go back and to the left, and then over to the right. Inhale, we come up and over, or over and up. And then exhale, we go back. Inhale. And exhale. Good. 2 more. Inhale. And exhale. Maybe the hips get a little bit closer to the heels each time. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Now we're going to inhale and reverse it. So we're going to inhale and come left and up. Exhale, we'll go back and to the right. Inhale, left. Exhale, right. Inhale and exhale. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale, we go back. Inhale, this will be our last one. And then exhale, we're going to go all the way back, coming back into our neutral spine, neutral position. So we're going to take our big toes to touch, and we're going to take our knees as wide as our mat, and we're going to use our hands to press our weight so that our sitting bones come towards our heels. And we're going to maybe take the arms overhead. If you can do that with your shoulders, you can take your arms, stretch your hands far away from your shoulders. Or if that bothers you at all, you can always tuck the arm on the side and rest your forehead down on the mat. Now, if your hips do not come all the way down to your sitting bones, that is fine. We can always keep our hips up a little bit higher, and we can rest our head down on the floor. And this is always a good place to come back to. If you need a little break during the practice, if your breathing gets a little rapid and you need to slow it down, this is a good way to just rest your forehead. It calms the nervous system and it slows down the breathing. Good. Now we're going to inhale. We're going to come back up into the tabletop position. We're going to check our hands, make sure our wrists are underneath our shoulders. Our index fingers are parallel to one another. And then we've got our knees stacked underneath our hips. We're going to tuck our toes under, and then we're going to lift our hips up and back into downward facing dog. All right, so let's start with our foundation. We're going to check our feet, check our hands. Again, index fingers are parallel to one another, and maybe our heels are up a little bit higher, and that's okay. So we want to draw the low belly in. We want to use the strength of our arms to push our weight back towards our heels. We can gaze between our knees or up between our thighs. We want to think of the tricep side of the arm rotating down towards the floor so we can get external rotation in that shoulder. You can bend one leg and stretch down the length of the other. Just kind of walk it out a little bit. First, downward facing dog. We're going to come high on the balls of the feet. And then exhale, try to relax the heels down towards the floor. Now we're going to look forward between our hands. That's where we want our feet to go. And we're going to inhale. We can either take some baby steps forward. We can take a couple of steps, or we can take a big step or hop all the way forward. We inhale, and then exhale, we fold. And then inhale, we're going to come all the way up to a standing position into Tadasana or Samasthiti. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do a sun salutation. So it's a flow. So what we want to do is we want to think about using our inhale and our exhale to initiate any type of movement. So we're going to go through the flow together, and I'm going to offer some modifications, and you pick what works for you. And we'll just do 2 sun salutations here. So we're going to inhale the arms up. We're going to gaze up at the thumbs if that's okay on the neck. We're going to relax the shoulders. We're going to exhale. We're going to fold forward into a forward fold. We can bend our knees here. Next, we're going to inhale, press into the hands to lengthen the spine. So I'm getting space from my chest all the way back to my sitting bones. And from here, we're going to bend the knees, place the hands flat on the mat, and step back into plank. We're going to chaturanga, which is the tricep push-up. Exhale, chaturanga down to the floor. And then inhale, we're going to press into the hands. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Good. So a good length for our downward facing dog is to think about a plank position and then just push ourselves back. So same thing here. We're going to check our feet, trying to ground as much of our foot down towards the mat as we can. Hands are pressing strong, index fingers parallel to one another. And then the shoulders are rolling away from the ears. The low belly draws in, and we gaze between the knees or the thighs. And then we're going to look forward between our hands. We can step or hop forward. Inhale. And then exhale, we fold. Inhale, we come all the way up and we reach our arms. Exhale, arms come down. Good, so we're going to do one more of those. And as you're coming down into chaturanga or the tricep push-up, obviously you can bring your knees down to the floor. All right, so here we go. Second one. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, we lift up and lengthen the spine. Exhale, we step back into plank, lower down into chaturanga. Inhale, we push up. exhale, we push back. Downward facing dog. Now, your breath is going to speed up, and that's normal. So the downward facing dog offers you the opportunity and the chance to slow that breathing down. So listen to your breath. Try to make each inhale and each exhale a little bit longer. And then we're going to look forward between our hands. We're going to step or hop forward. Inhale. Exhale, we fold. Inhale, we come all the way up. And exhale, arms come down. Now we're going to take our feet and we're going to step them about hip distance apart. And so they're a little bit bigger than you think, or a little bit wider, I should say. We're going to take them about hip distance apart. We're going to inhale here, and then we're going to exhale, bring our hands down towards the floor. We're going to bend the knees a little bit, bend into the hips, and we're going to come and do a forward fold. So it's okay if your legs aren't straight. You can either catch the shins, maybe the ankles, and maybe your hands can come down to the mat. Wherever they are, let's try to relax the head down towards the floor. Staying strong in the feet, relaxed in the neck. Good. And then we're going to inhale. We'll look forward here. And then exhale here. Just gives us an extra breath to get up. We're going to inhale all the way up to standing. And then exhale. Now we're going to go into a couple of our standing postures. So we're going to inhale, step the right foot out. We're about 3 to 3.5 feet apart. Our heels are in line with each other. And our left foot is turning in just a little bit, so our toes are pointing towards the long edge of the mat. The whole right leg is going to turn out, so we're externally rotating that leg, so our toes are pointing towards the short edge of the mat. We're going to inhale the arms out to the side, and then exhale. We're going to hinge over that hip, and we're going to bring our hand down to our shin, coming into Trikonasana, triangle pose. So we're going to stay strong in the feet, and we're going to gently rest our hand on that shin. And if we can look up at the top hand. If it bothers the neck, you can look down at the bottom foot. Same thing here. Keep listening to your breath. If it becomes a little too shortened, or if we're holding our breath, that's the indicator that we need to back out a little bit. Good. And then we're going to inhale, come up. We're going to have to kind of walk that right foot away from the left just a little bit. And then exhale, we're going to bend the right knee and take the forearm to the thigh. We're going to take the left hand on top of the hip, on top of the left hip. And then we are going to look over our left shoulder. And as we're here, we're going to press that right forearm into the right thigh. And then the right thigh is going to gently press back, creating a connection here and opening that hip. Good. We're opening the chest. We're trying to stack the left shoulder in line with the right. And then we're going to inhale up. And then exhale. We're going to keep our torso so it's perpendicular to the floor. And then exhale, we're going to come into Virabhadrasana 2, or Warrior 2 on the right side, bringing that right knee over the right ankle. Good. So we're pushing down into our feet, but we're still lifting the torso up at the same time. We're reaching through both fingertips, creating more space, gazing off the right hand. Good. We're going to inhale, come up, exhale. We're going to relax the arms down. Let's walk the left foot towards the right just a little bit. So we're back to that 3 to 3.5 feet. We're going to inhale the arms up, and then exhale. We're going to hinge over this hip again. So you see how this hip pushes back. When I can't reach forward anymore, I'm going to bring that left hand down to the left shin. We can bring that right arm up, or we can even take it to the right hip. Same thing here. We're going to try to gaze up at the right fingertips, keeping the legs strong, pushing strong into the feet, My chest is moving towards this little plant here, and my right hip is moving away. So we're always going in opposite directions, creating more space, opening the body and releasing tension. We're going to inhale, come up, and then we're going to have to spread, make our stance a little longer. And then exhale, bend the left knee, bring the left forearm to that thigh. You can leave that hand here. Keep breathing, listening to your breath. And you can leave that hand here, and we can gaze over that right shoulder or back over the left. I'm going to gently press my forearm into the thigh and then my thigh back into the forearm. Good. I'm pressing that outer edge of my right foot down, opening the hips away from each other. We're going to inhale, come up, and exhale, bend again, bringing the left knee over the left ankle. So again, we're pressing strong into the left foot to ground the outer edge of the right. And then if I look down at my knee will collapse in a lot of times. So I have to take it and press it behind me. So if I look down, I can just see my big toe. Good. And then we're going to keep lifting the torso as I push my feet down. Good. And then inhale, we'll come up. Exhale, relax the arms. All right, from here, we're going to transition by bringing both hands on either side of the left foot. I'm going to step back into plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, we'll come forward, bring our knees down. Knees as wide as the mat and big toes to touch if you can. And we're going to push back into child's rest. Couple of deep breaths here. Good. And now we're going to inhale, come up. And we're going to bring our knees back towards each other so that they're in line with our hips. We're going to bring that right foot forward. So I'm going to step my right hand over to get it out of the way. I'm going to bring my right foot so it's lined up pretty much with my left hand. I'm going to take my right hand to my right thigh and then my left hand to my right thigh. Coming into a high lunge, we can either stay here and just stretch the front of that left hip, pressing my hands into my thigh, pulling my chest away. Or if you want to take it up a notch, you can always tuck the left toes under, lift the back knee, and even reach the arms up towards the sky. Either one is going to give you the same benefit. If you feel like pushing today, or maybe you just feel like relaxing, maybe not relaxing, but taking it slower, we should say. All right, so from here, we're going to inhale, take the hands to the chest, and then exhale, we're going to take the left elbow to the right knee. Once it's here, we try to work on closing this gap here. And if we're not there yet, we'll just keep that elbow right where it's at. Bring our hands together. We press the hands together. And when the hands press together, the chest lifts and opens, and we deepen that twist. Gazing off the right shoulder. And try not to be too serious. Sometimes we start scrunching our face. So if you have any tension in the face, try to let that go. And then inhale back to center. Exhale, hands down. We're going to bring that right foot back. And then we're going to take the left foot forward. I'm not going to turn around. I'm just going to turn away from you guys. All right, so the left foot comes forward. So we're here. So I'm going to take the left hand to the left thigh and then the right. And we can either keep our hands right here on the thigh, press the chest away, or you can always tuck the toes under, lift the back knee, but keep lifting the back of the knee up towards the ceiling and taking the arms up towards the ceiling. I'm going to keep my knee down today. Stretching that front of the right hip, the front hip flexors. We're going to take the hands to the chest, and then we're going to inhale. And then exhale, we'll twist. So we're going to take the right elbow to the left knee. Good. Draw the low belly in, protect the back, and then exhale, we push into the hands, and when we do, it starts to deepen the twist. Good. And then inhale back to center. Exhale, the hands come down. We're going to keep those back toes tucked. We're going to lift that right knee. Inhale, step back into plank. Exhale, you can leave the knees down or lifted. Chaturanga. Inhale, we press up. Exhale, we press back. Good. Now we're going to look forward, and then we're going to step or hop, and then we're going to sit down. All right. So move that. All right. So now we're going to work on a few seated postures. So we will extend both legs straight in front of us. We can take our feet about hip distance apart or even wider. If we go wider, it just gives us a little more room to fold if we don't have a lot of flexibility yet. It's up to you. So we're going to sit up tall. We're going to keep those legs engaged just as we would if we were standing. So they're still active. And if we keep thinking about engaging the quadriceps, then that helps to lengthen the hamstrings and the backs of the legs. So we're going to inhale, sit up tall, and then exhale, we start folding forward, bringing our hands towards our feet. Maybe they only get towards our knees. That's good. And then we're just breathing here. Wherever we're at, just settle in. Okay, this is where I'm at. You find your edge and then you stay. So find that balance between effort and ease, and then breathe. So we'll just take a few breaths here. You can gaze at your toes, but try not to round. This will happen because we're trying to reach forward. But the more we do this, the more it's going to stay like this. So we want to think about our head, our chest and our head moving towards our feet. Okay. Good. All right. So now from here, we're going to take our hands behind us about, I don't know, like a foot maybe, I guess. We can keep our legs straight, but if we have them straight, we need to bring them together so our big toes are touching, our thighs are moving towards one another. Or I'll show you the variation. Or the other one is we're going to come into a reverse tabletop position. So we're going to tuck the chin in towards the chest, press strong into the hands, lift the chest, belly comes in. Inhale, we come up and we press strong into our feet. All right, that's one variation. Or if you want to try the other, we're going to bring our legs together, lift the chest, and then lift the hips. And if you want, you can always drop the head back. Good. And then we come down. Good. All right. So now we'll go into Janu Shirshasana. And Janu Shirshasana, we are leaving the left leg extended, and we're going to turn the right leg out to the side, draw that foot in towards the left thigh, taking the sole of the right foot in to touch the left thigh. Maybe it doesn't get there. Maybe it only gets to the calf or the knee, and that's fine too. It's a progression. So we're going to bring that to the inseam of the left leg. What happens is we tend to kind of move, our torso tends to kind of fall in the direction of our right leg. But what we want to do is actually kind of bring it over. So we're going to fold over the inseam. We're going to inhale here and exhale. We're going to start to fold. Same thing here. I'm going to keep lifting the chest so our hands start walking that way. Maybe we can catch the foot, maybe we cannot. Good. And then inhale, we're going to come up. And then we're going to switch legs. So the right leg extends. And then we're going to take the left leg out so that the sole of the left foot is touching the right inseam of that leg. And then same thing here, we're going to fold over the inseam. We're going to inhale, exhale, we're going to fold. So again, just think about the chest and the head moving towards the foot. And then we're going to inhale. We're going to come up. All right. So now we're going to work on a twist. So we are going to take, we're going to go to the right. I had to think about it a little bit. All right. So we're going to take the left leg, similar to what we did just a second ago. We're going to turn the left leg out to the side, bend that knee, and bring that foot in towards, so the arch of my foot is right behind my right sitting bone. And then I'm going to bring that right foot in line with that left heel. I'm going to wrap my left arm around my right leg. I'm going to take my right hand behind me and I'm going to come into a twist, looking over my right shoulder. If you want to try to deepen it just a little bit, you could take the foot on the opposite side. Instead of the inside of the leg, you can take it on the outside. And you can bring your arm in front of that leg. Good. Inhale, we come back to the front. And exhale, we unwind. And now we'll go the other way. So same thing. So we're going to bend the right foot, bring the arch of the foot behind the left sitting bone. We're going to bring the left foot in line with the right heel. We're going to wrap the right arm around the left leg and take the left hand behind us into a twist on the other side. We're gazing off our left shoulder. And then inhale, we look forward. Exhale, we unwind. All right, now we need to do a little core work. So we are going to sit back into Navasana, no one's favorite. So you want to find that spot between your sitting bones and your tailbone. So a lot of times I'll see people back on their sacrum, which is back here, like the back sides of their hips. We want to sit up tall. If we can't do this and lift our legs at the same time, then we just kind of keep our toes pointed. And then we think about trying to bring the knees towards each other, and maybe you can let the hands go. Maybe you have to hold the hands here, and that's fine too. So we want to keep working on the lift of the chest, draw the low belly in, and then maybe you can lift one toe or one foot and then the other foot. Maybe you can lift both. If you can, you're going to try to let go without collapsing. We're going to squeeze the knees towards each other. 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to cross the legs, cross at the shins. We're going to put the hands just in front of the hips. We're going to press strong into the hands. Inhale, we come up. Exhale, we come down. One more. Same thing here. So if it's too much to lift the legs, then we're going to work here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Switch the cross of your legs, lean forward, inhale, we come up, and exhale. We're going to come forward, and then we're going to step our feet back, and we're going to lower all the way down to the mat. And we are going to start with a small back bend here. So we are going to bring both legs together, squeezing the inner thighs together. We're going to bring the elbows under the shoulders, and we're going to gently pull our hands back towards our hips. So draw the low belly in, our Uddiyana Bandha, and we want to draw that in. Protects the low back. Using the legs, I'm pressing the tops of my feet into the mat. I'm gently pulling back with my hands and my arms to engage the back muscles. I'm gazing off the tip of my nose. Keep squeezing your inner thighs together and pressing the tops of the feet into the mat. while pulling the arms back towards your hips. Good, and exhale. We're going to do that one more time, and then we will do a lying twist and then set up for Shavasana or taking rest. All right, so legs come together. I'm engaging the legs. I'm pressing the tops of the feet into the mat. Draw the low belly in. I'm bringing the arms back towards the hips. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. And then we're going to come down. And then we're going to bring our knees forward. And then we're going to cross the shins. And then we're going to roll down onto our backs, one vertebrae at a time. Hug the knees in towards the chest, rock from side to side a couple times. Good. And then we're going to leave the right knee in, extend the left leg out. Good. If you can, point the toes. And then we're going to try to, eventually you would catch your big toe, but I know not everybody's there. So we are going to try to extend that leg, holding onto it. If you have a strap or something nearby, you could wrap it around your foot or a towel, and then hold on to your foot. If not, you can hold on to the back of the thigh, and let's try to point the toes if we can. Good. And then let's switch. Same thing here. You can catch the calf, the ankle, maybe the big toe, the foot. If not, then we can just hold on to the back of the thigh, try to point the toes. Good. And then we're going to, I'm kind of up against a wall here, but you guys are going to take your arms out to the side like a T, palms are facing up. We're going to bring the knees in on the inhale, and then exhale. We're going to take the knees over to the right, and then inhale up. Exhale, we're going to go left. Can't really go that far. Inhale up. Now we're going to exhale and take the knees towards the right elbow. Good. Exhale, we're going to come over if we can. Inhale up. Exhale, we're going to go the other way. Inhale. And then exhale, hug the knees in towards the chest. And then we're going to get ready for Shavasana. So we're just going to lay down here. Our feet kind of fall out to the side. They say like the pages of a book. Arms are out to the side as well. Palms facing up. Find something comfortable, a place where you can be comfortable for a few minutes. And we'll stay here for as long as you want. You can stay 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes. If this is not very comfortable and bothers your low back, you can put a bolster under your knees, or you could slide over to a couch or put a chair right here and rest your calves on the chair. So those are just some options. I know sometimes that bothers people's low back. So let's just close our eyes here. Let's take a deep breath in. Exhale, let it all go. Just try to rest here. Let the body settle. Let all the work that we did, the breathing we did, reintegrate back into the body. Staying here as long as you need.